She wanders to and fro, unbidden teardrops fill her eyes, and to all questions she replies with a sad hey-ho. 'Tis but a little word, hey-ho, so soft to say. When made in love she mopes apart as owl mopes on a tree. Although she keenly feels the smart, she cannot tell what ails her heart with its sad ah me. 'Tis but a foolish sigh, ah me, born but to droop and die. Ah me, yet all the sense of eloquence lies hidden in a maid's. Ah me, yet all the sense of eloquence lies hidden in a maid's. Ah me, ah me, ah me, yet all the sense of eloquence lies hidden in a maid's. Ah
Mistress Merrill!
Eh? Oh, it's you, is it? You may go away if you like, because I don't want you, you know.
Haven't you anything to say to me?
Oh, yes. Are the birds all caged? The wild beasts all litter down? Are the locks, chains, bolts, and bars in good order? Is the little ease sufficiently uncomfortable? Are the racks, pincers, and thumb screws all ready for work? Ah, you brute!
These allusions to my professional duties are in doubtful taste. I didn't become a head jailer because I like head jailing. I didn't become an assistant tormentor because I like assistant tormenting. We can't all be sorcerers, you know. You brought that upon yourself.
Colonel Fairfax is not a sorcerer. He's a man of science and an alchemist.
Well, whatever he is, he won't be one for long, for he's to be beheaded this evening for dealings with the devil. His master nearly had him last night when the fire broke out in the Beecham Tower.
Oh, how I wish he had escaped in the confusion. But take care. There's still time for a reply to his petition for mercy.
I'm willing to chance that. This evening at 7:30.
You're a cruel monster to speak so unfeelingly of the death of a young and handsome soldier.
Young and handsome? How do you know he's young and handsome?
Because I've seen him every day for weeks past, taking his exercise on the Beecham Tower.
Curse him.
Oh, there. I believe you're jealous of him now. Jealous of a man I've never spoken to. Jealous of a poor soul who's to die in an hour.
I am. I'm jealous of everybody and everything. I'm jealous of the very words I speak to you because they reach your ears and I mustn't go near them.
How unjust you are, jealous of the words you speak to me. Why, you know as well as I do that I don't even like them.
You used to like him.
I used to pretend I liked them. It was mere politeness to comparative strangers.
Why? I don't believe you know what jealousy is. I don't believe you know how it eats into a man's heart and disorders his digestion and turns his interiors into boiling lead. Oh, you're a heartless jade to trifle with the delicate organization of the human interior.
Both battle strife, weary we of mortal fray. But our year is not so spent, and our days are not so faded, but that we with one consent were our loving land invaded, still would face a foreign foe, as in days of long ago. Still would face a foreign foe, as in days of long ago. As in days of long ago. As in days of long ago. Still would face a foreign foe, as in days of long ago. Borders after borders, gallant, rifling, valiant soldiers, breathing, bearing, clothing, staring, in their bygone days of glory. There's the old gallant, valiant soldiers, there's the evening bygone days of din. There's the memory of the soul strong. There's the
A good day to you.
Oh, good day, Dame Carruthers. Busy today?
Busy I. The fire in the Beecham last night has given me work enough. 12 poor prisoners. Richard Colfax, Sir Martin Byfleet, Colonel Fairfax, Warren the preacher poet, and half a score others, all packed into one small cell, not 6 feet square. Poor Colonel Fairfax, who's to die today, is to be removed to number 14 in the Cold Harbor, that he may have his last hour alone with his confessor, and I've to see to that.
Poor gentleman. He'll die bravely. I fought under him 2 years since, and he valued his life as if it were a feather.
He's the bravest, the handsomest, and the best young gentleman in England. He twice saved my father's life, and it's a cruel thing, a wicked thing, and a barbarous thing that so gallant a hero should lose his head, for it's the handsomest head in England. For dealings with the devil, aye, if all were beheaded who dealt with him, there'd be busy doings on Tower Green.
You know very well that Colonel Fairfax is a student of alchemy. Nothing more and nothing less. But this wicked tower, like a cruel giant in a fairy tale, must be fed with blood. And that blood must be the best and bravest in England, or it's not good enough for the old blunderbore.
Ugh! Silence! You silly girl. You know not what you say. I was born in the old keep, and I've grown grey in it. And please God, I shall die and be buried in it. And there is not a stone in its walls that is not as dear to me as my own right hand.
When our gallant Norman foes made our merry land their own, and the Saxons from the conqueror were flying, at its bidding it arose in its panoply of stone, a sentinel on living and on dying. Insensible, I trow, as a sentinel should be, though a queen to save her head should come a-suing. There's a legend on its brow that is eloquent to me, and it tells of duty done and duty doing. The screw may twist and the rack may turn, and men may bleed and men may burn, o'er London town and its golden hoard I keep my silent watch and ward.
Twist and the racket.
London town and all its ward. London town and all its ward. I keep my silent watch and ward. Within its wall of rock, the flower of the brave have perished with a constancy unshaken. From the dungeon to the block, from the scaffold to the grave, is a journey many gallant hearts have taken. And the wicked flames may hiss round the heroes who have fought for conscience and for home in all its beauty. But the grim old fortalice takes little heed of aught that comes not in the measure of its duty. The screw may twist and the rag may turn, and men may bleed and men may burn. O'er London town and its golden hoard, I keep my silent watch and ward.
Twist and the racket.
O'er London town and all its ward. O'er London town and all its ward. Keep my silent watch and ward.
Father, has no reprieve arrived for the poor gentleman?
No, my lass, but there's one hope yet. Thy brother Leonard, who as a reward for his valor in saving his standard and cutting his way through 50 foes who would have hanged him, has been appointed a yeoman of the guard, will arrive today, and as he comes straight from Windsor, where the court is, it may be that he will bring the expected reprieve with him.
Oh, that he may.
Amen to that. For the colonel twice saved my life, and I'd give the rest of my life to save his. And wilt thou not be glad to welcome thy brave brother, with the fame of whose exploits all England is a-ringing?
Aye, truly, if he brings the reprieve.
And not otherwise?
Well, he's a brave fellow indeed, and I love brave men.
All brave men?
Most of them, I verily believe. But I hope Leonard will not be too strict with me. They say he's a very dragon of virtue and circumspection. Now, my dear old father is kindness itself,
And leaves thee pretty well to thine own ways, eh? Well, I've no fears for thee. Thou hast a feather brain, but thou'rt a good lass.
Yes, that's all very well. But if Leonard is going to tell me that I may not do this, and I may not do that, and I must not talk to this one, or walk with that one, but go through the world with my lips pursed up and my eyes cast down like a poor nun who has renounced mankind, why, as I have not renounced mankind, and don't mean to renounce mankind, I won't have it. There.
Nay, he'll not check thee more than is good for thee, Phoebe. Oh, he's a brave fellow, and bravest among brave fellows. And yet it seems but yesterday that he robbed the lieutenant's orchard. laughing boy but yesterday, a merry urchin blithe and gay, whose joyous shout came ringing out, unchecked by care and sorrow. Today a warrior all sun-brown, whose deeds of soldierly renown are now the boast of London town, a veteran tomorrow, today a warrior, a veteran tomorrow. When at my Leonard's deed sublime, a soldier's pulse beats double time, and brave hearts thrill as brave hearts will at tales of martial glory. I burn with flush of pride and joy, a pride committed by alloy, to find my boy, my darling boy, the theme of song and story, to find my darling boy, the theme of song and story, to find my boy, my darling boy, the theme of song and the story.
Father!
Leonard, my brave boy, I'm right glad to see thee. And so is Phoebe.
Aye. Hast thou brought Colonel Fairfax's reprieve?
Nay, I have here a dispatch for the lieutenant, but no reprieve for the colonel.
Poor gentleman. Poor gentleman.
Aye, I would I had brought better news. I'd give my right hand, nay, my body, my life to save his.
Dost thou speak in earnest, lad?
Aye, father, I'm no braggart. Did he not save thy life, and am I not his foster brother?
Then hearken to me. Thou hast come to join the yeomen of the guard?
Well,
None has seen thee but ourselves.
and a sentry who took but scant notice of me.
Now, to prove thy words, give me the dispatch, and get thee hence at once. Here is money, and I'll send thee more. Now lie hidden for a space, and let no one know. I'll convey a suit of yeoman's uniform to the colonel's cell. He shall shave off his beard so that none shall know him, and I'll own him as my son, the brave Leonard Merrill, who saved his flag and cut his way through 50 foes who thirsted for his life. Oh, he will be welcomed without question by my brother yeoman, I'll warrant that. Now, how to get access to the colonel's cell? The key is with thy sour-faced admirer, Wilfred Shadbolt.
I think I can get anything I want from Wilfred. I think, mind, I think. You may leave that to me.
Then get thee hence at once, and lad, and bless thee for this sacrifice.
And take my blessing too, dear, dear Leonard.
And thine, eh? Thy love is newborn. Wrap it up carefully, lest it take cold and die.
Unless I waver to and fro, dark danger hangs upon the deed.
Dark danger hangs upon the deed. The scheme is rash and well may fail, but ours are not the hearts that quail, the hands that shrink, the cheeks that pale in hours of need. No, ours are not the hearts that quail,
The hands that shake, the cheeks that pale,
the hands that shake,
the cheeks that
pale in hours of need.
The air I breathe to him I owe, my life is his, I count it not.
That life is his, so count it not.
And shall I reckon risks I run when services are to be done to save the life of such an one. Unworthy thought, unworthy thought.
And shall we reckon this we run to save the life of such an one?
Unworthy thought, unworthy thought.
We may succeed, who can foretell? Heaven help our hope.
Heaven help our hope. Lass, be of good cheer. We may save him yet.
See, Father, they bring the poor gentleman from the Beecham. Oh, Father, his hour is not yet come.
No, they lead him to the cold harbour tower to await his end in solitude. Oh, but softly, the lieutenant approaches. He should not see me weep.
Halt! Colonel Fairfax, my old friend, we meet but sadly.
Sir, I greet you with all goodwill, and I thank you for the zealous care with which you have guarded me from the pestilent dangers which threaten human life outside. In this happy little community, death, when he comes, doth so in punctual and businesslike fashion, and like a courtly gentleman giveth due notice of his advent, that one may not be taken unawares.
Sir, you bear this bravely, as a brave man should.
Why, sir, it is no light boon to die swiftly and surely at a given hour and in a given fashion. Truth to tell, I would gladly have my life, but if that may not be, I have the next best thing to it, which is death. Nay, my lot is not so much amiss.
Oh, Father, I cannot bear it.
My poor lass.
Nay, pretty one, why weepest thou? Come, be comforted. Such a life as mine is not worth weeping for. Sergeant Merrill, is it not? May I greet my old friend? Why, man, what's all this? Thou and I have faced the grim old king a dozen times, and never has his majesty come to me in such goodly fashion. Keep a stout heart, good fellow. We are soldiers, and we know how to die, thou and I. Take my word for it. It is easier to die well than to live well. For in sooth, I have tried both. Is life a boon? If so, it must befall, that death, whene'er he call, must call too soon. Though force for years he give, yet one would pray to live another moon. What kind of plaint have I, who perish in July, who perish in July? I might have had to die, perchance in June. I might have had to die, perchance in June. Is life a thorn? Then count it not a whit, nay, count it not a whit. Man is well done with it. Soon as he's born, he should all means essay to put the plague away. And I, war-worn, or captured fugitive, my life most gladly give. I might have had to live another morn. I might have had to live another morn. Now, Sir Richard, I have a boon to beg. I am in this strait for no better reason than because my kinsman, Sir Clarence Poltwhistle, one of the Secretaries of State, has charged me with sorcery in order that he may succeed to my estate, which devolves to him, provided I die unmarried.
As thou wilt most surely do.
Nay, as I will most surely not do, by your worship's grace. I have a mind to thwart this good cousin of mine.
How?
By marrying forthwith, to be sure.
But, heaven have mercy, whom wouldst thou marry?
Nay, I am indifferent on that score. Coming death hath made of me a true and chivalrous knight, who holds all womanhood in such esteem that the oldest and the meanest and the worst favored of them is good enough for him. So, my good lieutenant, if thou wouldst serve a poor soldier who has but an hour to live, find me the first that comes. My confessor shall marry us, and her dower shall be by dishonored name, and 100 crowns to boot. No such poor dower for an hour of matrimony.
A strange request. I doubt that I should be warranted in granting it.
There never was a marriage fraught with so little of evil to the contracting parties. In an hour she'll be a widow, and I a bachelor again, for aught I know.
Well, I will see what can be done, for I hold thy kinsman in abhorrence for the scurvy trick he has played thee.
1,000 thanks, good sir. We meet again on this spot in an hour or so. I shall be a bridegroom then, and your worship will wish me joy. Till then, farewell. I'm ready, good fellows.
He is a brave fellow, and it is a pity that he should die. Now, how to find him a bride at such short notice? Well, the task should be easy.
Here's a man of jollity, jive, joke, jollify, give us some equality, come full qualify, if you paper rapidly, river runneth rapidly, into his big finger, who doesn't sing, give us an experiment, in the art of merriment, into his big cock, who doesn't croak, and his short and dignity, and with all rapidity, give us wit and credity, really, really, oh, river runneth qualify, into a big crow, who doesn't qualify, cock who doesn't crow, and his short and dignity, and with all rapidity, give us wit and credity, really, really, oh.
I pray you bear with us, and we will satisfy you. For we are merry folk, who would make all as merry as ourselves. For look you, there is humor in all things, and the truest philosophy is that which teaches us to find it and to make the most of it.
Hands off, I say, unmannerly fellow!
Didst thou hear her say hands off?
Aye, I heard her say it, and I failed to do it. What then?
Thou dost not see the humor of it?
Nay, if I do, hang me.
Thou dost not? Now observe, she said hands off. Whose hands? Thine. Off whom? Off her. Why? Because she's a woman. Now, had she not been a woman, thine hands had not been set upon her at all. So, the reason for the laying on of hands is the reason for the taking off of hands. And herein is contradiction contradicted. It is the very marriage of pro with con, and no such lopsided union either as times go. For pro is not more unlike con than
Man is unlike woman, yet men and women marry every day with none to say, oh, the pity of it. But I and fools like me. Now, wherewithal shall we please you? We can rhyme you, couplet, trilet, quatrain, sonnet, rundlet, ballad, what you will. Or we can dance you saraband, gondolette, carol, pimpernel, or jumping Joe.
Let us give them the singing farce of the merry man and his maid, then in his song, and dance too. Yes,
I have a song to sing, oh.
Sing me your song, oh.
It is sung to the moon by a lovelorn loon who fled from the barking throng, oh. It's a song of a merry man moping mum, whose soul was sad and whose glance was glum, who sipped no sup and who craved no crumb as he sighed for the love of a lady. Heidi, Heidi, misery me, lack-a-day-dee. He sipped no sup and he craved no crumb as he sighed for the love of a lady.
I have a song to sing, oh.
What is your song, oh?
It is sung with the ring of the songs made sing, who love with a love lifelong, oh. It's a song of a merry maid, peerly proud, who loved our Lord and who laughed aloud at the moan of the merry man moping mum, whose soul was sad and whose glance was glum, who sipped no sup and who craved no crumb as he sighed for the love of a lady. Lady, lady, misery me, lack-a-day-dee. He sipped no sup and he craved no crumb as he sighed for the love of a lady.
I have a song to sing, oh.
Sing me your song, oh.
It is sung to the knell of a churchyard bell and a doleful dirge ding-dong, oh. It's a song of a popinjay bravely born, who turned up his noble nose with scorn at the humble merry maid peerly proud, who loved our Lord and who laughed aloud at the moan of the merry man moping mum, whose soul was sad and whose glance was glum, who sipped no sup and who craved no crumb as he sighed for the love of a lady. Heidi, Heidi, misery me, lack-a-day-dee. He sipped no sup and he craved no crumb as he sighed for the love of a lady.
I have a song to sing, oh.
Sing me your song, oh.
It is sung with a sigh and a tear in the eye, for it tells of a righted wrong, oh. It's the song of a merry maid once so gay, who turned on her heel and tripped away from the peacock popinjay bravely born, who turned up his noble nose to scorn at the humble heart that he did not prize. So she begged on her knees with downcast eyes for the love of the merry man moping mum, whose soul was sad and whose glance was glum, who sipped no sup and who craved no crumb as he sighed for the love of a lady.
Heidi, Heidi, misery me, lack-a-day-dee. His pains were o'er and he sighed no more, for he lived in the love of a lady. Heidi, Heidi, misery me, lack-a-day-dee. His pains were o'er and he sighed no more, for he lived in the love of a
Well sung and well danced.
A kiss for that pretty maid.
Aye, a kiss all right.
Best beware, I am armed.
Back says that. Now, this is going too far.
Oh, thou dost not see the humor of it, eh? Yet there is humor in all things, even this.
I'm on.
Is this parlor?
Oh, sir, we sang to these folk, and they would have repaid us with gross courtesy, but for your honour's coming.
Away with ye. Clear the revel. But now, my girl, who are you and what do you here?
May it please you, sir, we are two strolling players, Jack Point and I, Elsie Maynard at your worship service. We go from fair to fair, singing and dancing and playing brief interludes, and so we make a poor living.
You too, eh? Are ye man and wife?
No, sir, for though I am a fool, there is a limit to my folly. Her mother, old Bridget Maynard, travels with us, for Elsie is a good girl. But the old woman is abed with fever, and we've come here to pick up some silver to buy an electuary for her.
Hark ye, girl. Your mother is ill
Sorely ill, sir.
and needs good food and many things that thou canst not buy.
Alas, sir, it is too true.
Wouldst thou earn 100 crowns?
100 crowns? Well, they might save her life.
Then listen. A worthy but unhappy gentleman is to be beheaded in an hour on this very spot. For sufficient reasons, he desires to marry before he dies, and he hath asked me to find him a wife. Wilt thou be that wife?
The wife of a man I have never seen.
Why, sir, look you, I'm concerned in this. For though I'm not yet wedded to Elsie Maynard, time works wonders, and there's no knowing what may be in store for us. Have we your worship's word for it that this gentleman will die today?
Nothing is more certain, I grieve to say.
And that the maiden will be allowed to depart the very instant the ceremony's at an end.
The very instant I pledge my honor that it shall be so.
100 crowns.
100 crowns.
Well, for my part, I agree. It is for Elsie to speak.
How say you, maiden, will you wed a man about to lose his head? For half an hour you'll be a wife, and then the dower is yours for life. A headless bridegroom why refuse? If truth the poets tell, most bridegrooms ere they marry lose both head and heart as well.
A strange proposal you reveal, it almost makes my senses reel. Alas, I'm very poor indeed, and such a sum I sorely need. My mother, sir, is like to die, this money life may bring. Bear this in mind, I pray, if I consent to do this thing.
Though, as a general rule of life, I don't allow my promised wife, my lovely bride that is to be, to marry anyone but me. Yet if the fee is promptly paid, and he in well-earned grave within the hour is duly laid, objection I will waive. Yes, objection I will waive.
Temptation, oh temptation, were we the great intended to shun whatever station your fascination splendid? Oh, for whene'er we view you, head over heels into you, head over heels, head over heels, head over heels into you, head over heels, right into you, head over heels, 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 over hills, head over hills, head over hills. Temptation. Oh, And so, good fellow, you are a jester?
Aye, sir. And like some of my jests, out of place.
I have a vacancy for such an one. Tell me, what are your qualifications for such a post?
Well, marry, sir, I have a pretty wit. I can rhyme you extempore. I can convulse you with quip and conundrums. I can be merry, wise, quaint, grim, and sardonic. One by one, or all at once. I have a pretty turn for anecdote. I know all the jests, ancient and modern, past, present, and to come. I can riddle you from dawn of day to set of sun, and if that content you not, well on to midnight and the small hours. Oh, sir, a pretty wit, I warrant you, a pretty, pretty wit. I've jab and joke, and quip and crank, for lowly folk and men of rank. I ply my craft and know no fear, but aim my shaft at prince or peer, at peer or prince, at prince or peer. I aim my shaft and know no fear. I've wisdom from the east and from the west, that's subject to no academic rule. You may find it in the jeering of a jest, or distill it from the folly of a fool. I can teach you with a quip if I've a mind. I can trick you into learning with a laugh. Oh, winnow all my folly, 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 and you'll find a grain or two of truth among the chaff. Oh, winnow all my folly, 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 and you'll find a grain or two of truth among the chaff. I've set a riot quailing with a quip. The upstart I can wither with a whim. He may wear a merry laugh upon his lip, but his laughter has an echo that is grim. When they're offered to the world in merry guise, unpleasant truths are swallowed with a will. For he who'd make his fellow creatures wise should always gild the philosophic pill. For he who'd make his fellow creatures wise should always gild the philosophic pill.
And how came you to leave your last employ?
Why, sir, it was in this wise. My lord was the Archbishop of Canterbury, and it was considered that one of my jokes was unsuited to his grace's family circle. In truth, I ventured to ask a poor riddle, sir. Wherein lay the difference between his grace and poor Jack Point? His grace was pleased to give it up, sir. Thereupon I told him that whereas his grace was paid 10,000 a year for being good, poor Jack Point was good for nothing. 'Twas but a harmless jest, but it offended his grace, who whipped me and set me in the stocks for a scurril rogue, and so we parted. I'd as lief not take post again with the dignified clergy.
But I trust you are very careful not to give offense. I have daughters.
Sir, my jests are most carefully selected, and anything objectionable is expunged. If your honor pleases, I will try them first on your honor's chaplain.
Can you give me an example? Say that I had sat me down hurriedly on something sharp.
Sir, I should say that you had sat down on the spur of the moment.
Huh. I don't think much of that. Is that the best you can do?
It's always been much admired, sir. But we will try again.
Well then, I am at dinner, and the joint of meat is but half cooked.
Why then, sir, I should say that what is underdone cannot be helped. Done. Helped.
I see. I think that manner of thing would be somewhat irritating.
at first, sir, perhaps. But use is everything, and you would come in time to like it.
We shall suppose that I caught you kissing the kitchen wench under my very nose.
Under her very nose, good sir, not under yours. That's where I would kiss her. Do you take me? Oh, sir, a pretty wit. Pretty wit.
Oh, the maiden comes. Follow me, friend, and we will discuss this matter at length in my library.
I am your worship's servant. I trust I soon shall be. But before proceeding to a more serious topic, can you tell me, sir, why a cook's brain pan is like an overwound clock?
A truce to this fooling. Follow me.
Just my luck. My best conundrum wasted.
"'Tis done. I am a bride. Little ring that bearest in thy circlet all the gladness that lovers hope for and what bringest thou to me but gold and sadness? A bridegroom all unknown, save in this wise: today he dies, today, alas, he dies. No tear and long-drawn sigh ill-fit a bride, no sadder wife than I, the whole world wide. Ah me, ah me. Yet maids there be who would consent to lose the very rose of youth, the flower of life, to be in honest truth a wedded wife, no matter whose, no matter whose. Ah me, what profit we, oh maids that sigh, the gold should live if wedded love must die. Ere half an hour has rung a widow eye. Ah, heaven, he's too young, too brave to die. Ah me, ah me. Yet wives there be so weary worn, I trow that they would scarce complain, so that they could in half an hour attain to widowhood, no matter how, no matter how. Oh, weary wives who widowhood would win, rejoice, rejoice that ye have time to weary.
freak for a dying man and his confessor to be closeted alone with a strange singing girl. I would fain have espied them, but they stopped up the keyhole. My keyhole.
Wilfred, leave it alone.
Now, what could he have wanted with her? That's what puzzles me.
Now to get the keys from him.
Wilfred, has no reprieve arrived?
None. Thine adored Fairfax is to die.
Nay, thou knowest that I have naught but pity for the poor condemned gentleman.
I know that he who is about to die means more to thee than I, who am alive and well.
Oh, why, that were out of reason, dear Wilfred. Do they not say that a live ass is better than a dead lion? No, I don't mean that.
They say that, do they?
It's unpardonably rude of them, but I believe they put it that way. Not that it applies to thee, who art clever beyond all telling.
As an assistant tormentor.
Nay, as a wit, as a humorist, as a most philosophic commentator on the vanity of human resolution.
Truly, I have seen great resolution give way under my persuasive methods. In the nice regulation of a thumbscrew, in the 100th part of a single revolution lieth all the difference between stony reticence and a torrent of impulsive unbosoming that the pen can scarcely follow. I am a mad wag.
Thou art a most light-hearted and delightful companion, Master Wilfred. Thine anecdotes of the torture chamber are the prettiest hearing.
I am a pleasant fellow, and I choose. I believe I'm the merriest dog that barks. We might be passing happy together.
Oh, perhaps. I do not know.
For thou wouldst make a most loving and tender wife.
I, to one whom I really loved. For there is a wealth of love in this little heart, saving up for, I wonder whom. Now, of all the world of men, I wonder whom. To think that he whom I am to wed is now alive and somewhere, perhaps far away, perhaps close at hand. And I know him not. It seemeth that I'm wasting time in not knowing him.
Say that it is I.
No.
Nay, suppose it for the nonce. Say that we are wed. Nay, suppose it only. Say that thou art my very bride, and I thy cheery, bright, joyous, frolicsome husband. And that the day's work being done, and the prisoners all locked away for the night, thou and I, alone, together with a long, long evening before us.
It is a pretty picture, but I scarcely know. It cometh so unexpectedly. And yet, were I thy bride.
I, without my bride.
Oh, how I would love thee.
Were I thy bride, then all the world beside were not too wide to hold my wealth of love. Were I thy bride, upon thy breast my loving head would rest as on her nest a tender turtle dove. Were I thy bride, this heart of mine would be one heart with thine, and in that shrine of happiness would dwell. Were I thy bride, and all day long our life should be a song, no grief, no wrong should make my heart rebel. Were I thy bride, the silvery flute, the melancholy lute were nigh a dull's root to my low whispered coo. Were I thy bride, the skylark's trill were but discordant shrill to thus a thrill of wooing as I'd woo. Were I thy bride, the roses sigh were as a carrion's cry to lullaby such as I'd sing to thee. Were I thy bride, a feather's press were led in heavy nest in my caress.
how she wooed. I should be no mean judge of wooing, seeing as I have been more hotly wooed than most men. I have been wooed by maid, widow, and wife. I have been wooed boldly, timidly, tearfully, shyly, by direct assault, by suggestion, by implication, by inference, and by innuendo. But this is no wooing of the common order. This is the wooing of one who needs must woo me, if she die for it. If she die for it.
The deed is so far safely accomplished. The sly boots, how she wheedled him. What a helpless ninny is a lovesick man. He is but as a lute in a woman's hands. She plays upon him whatever tune she will. But the colonel comes. If faith he's just in time, for the yeomen parade here for his execution in 2 minutes.
My good and kind friend, thou runnest to grave risk for me.
Tut, sir, no risk. I warrant none here will recognize you. You make a brave yeoman, sir. So this ruff is too low, and here is your halbert, sir. Carry it thus. But the yeomen come. Oh, now remember, you are my brave son, Leonard Merrill.
If I may not bear my own name, there is none other I would bear so readily.
Now, sir, put a bold face on it, for they come.
To meet him, that we may fitly greet him, and welcome his arrival here with shout and cheer, hurrah, hurrah, hurrah!
Ye tower waters, nursed in wars of arms, suckled on gunpowder and weaned on glory. Behold my son, whose all subduing arms have formed the theme of many a song and story. Forgive his aged father's pride, nor cheer his aged father's sympathetic tear.
Merrill, 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 long live me, time of Merrill, man of power, mightiest power, come to the river tower, rule our tower, welcome thou.
Forbear, my friends, and spare me this ovation. I have small claim to such consideration. The tales that of my prowess are narrated have been prodigiously exaggerated. Prodigiously exaggerated.
'Tis ever thus, wherever valor true is found, true modesty will there abound.
Didst thou not, O Leonard Merrill, standard lost in last campaign, rescue it at deadly peril, bear it safely back again?
Merrill, Merrill, at your peril, bore it safely back again.
Didst not, when prisoner taken and debarred from all escape, face with gallant heart unshaken, death in most appalling shape?
Merrill, Merrill, face his peril, death in most appalling shape.
Truly I was to be pitied, having but an hour to live. I reluctantly submitted, I had no alternative. Oh, the tales that are narrated of my deeds of daring do have been much exaggerated, very much exaggerated. Scarce a word of them is true, scarce a word of them is true.
They are not exaggerated, not at all exaggerated, overly exaggerated. Scarce a word of them is
Leonard,
I beg your pardon.
don't you know me? I'm little Phoebe.
Phoebe? Is this Phoebe? What? Little Phoebe? Who the deuce may she be? It can't be Phoebe, surely.
Yes, 'tis Phoebe, your sister Phoebe, your own little sister. He speaks the truth. 'Tis Phoebe.
Sister Phoebe.
Oh, my brother.
Why, how you've grown. I did not recognize you.
So many years. Oh, my brother.
Oh, my sister.
Oh,
Sister. Oh, sister.
I hug him, girl. There are three thou mayst hug, thy father and thy brother and myself.
Thyself, forsooth. And who art thou thyself?
Good sir, we are betrothed.
Or more or less. But rather less than more.
To thy fond care I do commend thy sister. Be to her an ever-watchful guardian, eagle-eyed, and when she feels, as sometimes she does feel, disposed to indiscriminate caress, be thou at hand to take those favors from her. Be thou at hand to take those favors from her.
Yes, yes, be thou at hand to take those favors from me.
To thy fraternal care, thy sister I commend. From every lurking snare, thy lovely charge defend. And to achieve this end, O grant, I pray this boon, O grant this boon. She shall not quit thy sight from morn to afternoon, from afternoon to night, from 7 o'clock to 2, from 2 to eventide, from dim twilight to 11 at night, from dim twilight to 11 at night. She shall not quit thy side. She shall not quit thy side.
So amiable I've grown, so innocent as well, that if I'm left alone, the consequences fell. No more to can foretell. So grant, I pray, this boon. Oh, grant this
yes, that task I undertake. My word I never break, I freely grant that boon, and I'll repeat my plight from morn to afternoon, from afternoon to night, from 7 o'clock to 2, from 2 to evening meal. From dim twilight to 11 at night, from dim twilight to 11 at night, the compact I will seal. From afternoon to 11 at night, really grants that boon. the news I bear. I and my comrades sought the prisoner's cell. He is not there. He is not there. We sought the prisoner's cell. He is not there. As before the prisoner, we sought his cell in duty bound. The double grating open when a prisoner at all we found. We hunted high, hunted low, we hunted here, hunted there. The man we sought with anxious care had vanished into empty air. The man we sought with anxious care had vanished into empty air.
My truth, the news is met. The man has vanished into air.
I hate the man my rival be.
Please look on, I'm old again. I will profit thee instead. Would have helped him to escape.
My lord, I did not set him free.
Traces lurk, enchantment must begin at work. What have I done? Oh, woe is me! I cannot is free.
Oh, woe is you! Your anguish think, oh, woe is me. I rather think, oh, woe is me. I rather think, yes, woe is me. I rather think, when every time you are his bride and I am left alone bereft. Yes, woe is me. I rather think, yes, woe is me. I rather think, yes, woe is me. Yes, woe is me.
All friends, each better with the spelling, the brave is cheating, all friends too. Who is the misbegotten me? Who has contrived this thing to do? Let's search, we may go out the land, for his victim will make a trend. 1,000 miles and miles and miles to men, who makes him dead alive again, who makes him alive.
Spite of ye all, he is free, he is free. Whom do ye want, pretty waters, are ye?
Pretty waters are ye, whom do ye want? Spite of ye all, he is free, he is free. Whom do ye want, pretty waters are ye?
Up and down and in and out, here and there and round about, every chamber, every house, every chink that holds a mouse, every crevice in the keep, where a beetle that could creep, every outlet, every drain, have we searched, but all in vain, all in vain.
Waters are ye, whom do ye want?
Every house, every chink, every drain,
Waters are ye, whom do ye
every
want?
chamber, every outlet, have we searched, but all in vain.
Light has spread
Waters are ye,
its wings, and the breeze
jests of Hugh Ambrose, number 7863. The poor wit and the rich counsellor. A certain poor wit, being an hungered, did meet a well-fed counsellor. Marry, fool, quoth the counsellor, whither away? In truth, said the poor wag, in that I have eaten not these 2 days, I do wither away, and that right rapidly. The counsellor laughed hugely and gave him a sausage. The counsellor was easier to please than my new master, the lieutenant. I would like to take post under that counsellor. 'Tis but melancholy mumming when poor, heartbroken, jilted Jack Point must needs turn to Hugh Ambrose for original light humor.
Master Point.
Oh, friend jailer. Oh. Jailer that wast. Jailer that never shalt be more. Jailer that jailed not, or that jailed if jail he did so unjailily that 'twas but jerry jailing, or jailing in joke, though no joke to him who by unjailer like jailing did so jeopardize his jailership. Take heart, smile, laugh, wink, twinkle, thou tormentor that tormentest none, thou racker that rackest not, thou pincher out of place, come, take heart and be merry as I am. As I am.
Aye, 'tis well for thee to laugh, for thou hast a good post, and cause to be merry.
Cause? Have we not all cause? Is not the world a big butt of humor, into which all who will may drive a gimlet? See, I am a salaried wit, and is there aught in nature more ridiculous? A poor, dull, heartbroken man who must needs be merry or he will be whipped, who must rejoice lest he starve, who must jest you, jibe you, quip you, crank you, rack you, riddle you, from hour, from day to day, from year to year, lest he dwindle, perish, starve, pine, and die. Why, when there's naught else to laugh at, I laugh at myself, till I ache for it.
Yet I have often thought that a jester's calling would suit me to a hair.
Thee? Would suit thee, thou death's head and crossbones?
Aye, I have a pretty wit, a light, airy, joysome wit, spiced with anecdotes of prison cells and the torture chamber. A very delicate wit. I have tried it on many a prisoner, and there have been some who smiled. Now, it is not easy to make a prisoner smile, and I don't think it should be difficult to be a good jester, seeing as thou art one.
Difficult? Huh, nothing easier. Nothing easier. Attend, and I will prove it to thee. Oh, a private buffoon is a light-hearted loon if you listen to popular rumor. From the morn till the night, so joyous and bright, and he bubbles with wit and good humor. He's so quaint and so terse, both in prose and in verse, yet though people forgive his transgression, there are 1 or 2 rules that all family fools must observe if they love their profession. There are 1 or 2 rules, half a dozen maybe, that all family fools of whatever degree must observe if they love their profession. If you wish to succeed as a jester, you'll need to consider each person's auricular. What is all right for B would quite scandalize C, for C is so very particular. And D may be dull, and E's very thick-skulled, is as empty of brains as a ladle, while F is F-sharp, and will cry with a carp that he's known your best joke from his cradle. When you humor, they flout, you can't let yourself go, and it does put you out when a person says, "Oh, I've known that old joke from me cradle." If your master is surly from getting up early and tempers are short in the morning, and an opportune joke is enough to provoke him to give you at once a month's warning, then if you refrain, he's at you again, for he likes to get value for money. He'll ask then and there, with an insolent stare, if you know that you're paid to be funny. It adds to the tasks of a merriment's place when your principal asks with a scowl on his face, if you know that you're paid to be funny. Comes a bishop, maybe, or a solemn DD, oh, beware of his anger-provoking. Better not pull his hair, don't stick pins in his chair, he don't understand practical joking. If the jest that you crack have an orthodox smack, he may get a bland smile from these sages, but should they, by chance, be imported from France. Half a crown is stopped out of your wages. It's a general rule, though your zeal it make wench. If the family fool tells a joke that's too French, half a crown is stopped out of his wages. Though your head it may rack with a bilious attack, and your senses with toothache you're losing, don't be mopey and fat, they don't find you for that, if you're properly quaint and amusing. Though your wife ran away with a soldier that day and took with her your trifle of money, bless your heart, they don't mind. They're exceedingly kind. They don't blame you, as long as you're funny. It's a comfort to feel if your partner should fit. Though you suffer a deal, they don't mind it a bit. They don't blame you as long as you're funny. So thou wouldst be a jester, eh?
Aye.
Now listen. My sweetheart, Elsie Maynard, was secretly wed to this Fairfax half an hour ere he escaped.
She did well.
She did nothing of the kind, so hold thy peace and perpend. Now, while he liveth, she is dead to me, and I to her. And so, my jibes and jokes notwithstanding, I am the saddest and sorriest dog in England.
Thou art a very dull dog indeed.
Now, if thou wilt swear that thou didst shoot this Fairfax while he was trying to swim across the river, it needs but the discharge of an arquebus on a dark night, and that he sank and was seen no more, I'll make thee the very Archbishop of Jesters, and that in 2 days' time. Now, what sayest thou?
I am to lie?
Heartily. But thy lie must be a lie of circumstance, which I will support with the testimony of eyes, ears, and tongue.
And thou wouldst qualify me as a jester?
As a jester among jesters. I will teach thee all my original songs, my self-constructed riddles, my own ingenious paradoxes. Nay, more. I will reveal to thee the source from whence I get them. Now, what sayest thou?
Why, if it be but a lie thou wantest of me, I hold it cheap enough, and I say yes, it is a bargain. Hereupon we're both agreed, all that we two do agree to will secure by solemn deed to prevent all error mental.
You want Elsie to call with a story grim and gory.
How this Fairfax died and all I declare to, you're to swear to.
I to swear to.
I declare to.
I to swear to.
I declare to. I declare to. You to swear to. I declare to. Tell a tale of cock and bull, all convincing, detailful. Tale tremendous and defendous. What a tale of cock and bull! In return for your part, you are making undertaking to instruct me in the art amazing, wonder-raising
of a jester, jesting free, proposition, high ambition,
and a lively one I'll be, wag-a-wagging, never flagging.
Wag-a-wagging,
never flagging.
Wag-a-wagging,
never flagging. Wag-a-wagging, never flagging. Wag-a-wagging. Tell a tale of cock and bull, all convincing, detailful. Tale tremendous, perfect, eventless. What a tale of cock and bull!
What a tale of cock!
What a tale of bull!
What a tale of cock!
What a tale of bull! What a tale of cock and bull! Cock and bull! Cock and bull! Perfect, eventless. What a tale of cock and bull!
Gone, and no news of poor Fairfax. The dolts. They seek him everywhere, save within a dozen yards of his dungeon. So I am free. Free but for the cursed haste with which I hurried headlong into the bonds of matrimony with
heaven knows whom. As far as I remember, she should have been young, but even had not her face been concealed by a kerchief, I doubt whether in my then plight I should have taken much note of her. Free? The tower bonds were but a thread of silk compared with these conjugal fetters which I, fool that I was, placed upon mine own hands. From the one I broke readily enough. How to break the other?
Free from his fetters grim, free to depart, free both in life and limb, in all but heart, bound to an unknown bride, for good or ill. Ah, is not one so tied, a prisoner still, a prisoner still? Ah, is not one so tied, a prisoner still?
Free, yet in fetters held, till his last hour. Gyves that no smith can weld, nor rust devour. Although a monarch's hand had set him free, of all the captive band, the saddest he, the saddest he. Oh, all the captive band, the saddest, saddest Sergeant Merrill, and how fares thy pretty charge, Elsimena?
Oh, well enough, sir. She is quite strong again and leaves us tonight.
Thanks to Dame Carruthers' kind nursing, eh?
Aye, deuce take the old witch. It was but a sorry trick you played me, sir, to bring the fainting girl to me. It gave the old lady an excuse for taking up her quarters in my house, and for the last 2 years I've shunned her like the plague. Another day of it and she would have married me. Good Lord, here she is again. Eileen, go.
Nay, Master Leonard, don't go, Sergeant Merrill. I have something of grave import to say to thee.
It's coming.
Faith, I think I'm not wanted here.
Nay, Master Leonard, I've naught to say to thy father that his son may not hear.
True, I'm one of the family. I'd forgotten.
'Tis about this Elsie Maynard, a pretty girl, Master Leonard.
Aye, fair as a peach blossom. What then?
She hath a liking for thee, if I mistake not.
With all my heart. She's as dainty a little maid as you'll find in a midsummer day's march.
Then be warned in time, and give not thy heart to her. Oh, I know what it is to give my heart to one who will have none of it.
Aye, she knows all about that. And why is my boy to take heed of her? She's a good girl, Dame Carruthers.
Good enough, for aught I know. But she's no girl. She's a married woman.
A married woman? Oh, tush, old lady. She's promised to Jack Point, the lieutenant's new jester.
Tush in thy teeth, old man. As my niece Kate sat by her bedside today, this Elsie slept, and as she slept, she moaned and groaned and turned this way and that way, and how shall I marry one I've never seen, quoth she, then. 100 crowns, quoth she, then. Is it certain he will die in an hour, quoth she, then. I love him not, and yet I am his wife, quoth she. Is it not so, Kate? Kate!
Aye, aunt, 'tis even so.
But art thou sure of all this?
Aye, sir, for I wrote it all down on my tablets.
Now mark my words, 'twas of this Fairfax she spake, and he is her husband, or I'll swallow my kirtle.
Is it true, sir?
True? Why, the girl was raving. Why should she marry a man who had but an hour to live?
Marry. There be those who would marry but for a minute, rather than die old maids.
I know one of them.
Strange adventure, maiden wedded to a groom she'd never seen. Never seen. Groom about to be beheaded in an hour on Tower Green. Groom in dreary dungeon lying, groom as good as dead or dying, for a pretty maiden sighing. Pretty maid of 17, 17. Strange adventure that we're droning, modest maid and gallant groom. Gallant groom. While the funeral bell is tolling, bim a boom, bim a boom. Modest maiden will not tarry, though but 16 years she carry. She must marry, she must marry. Though the altar be a tomb, tower, tower, tower tomb. Tower tomb. Tower tomb. Though the altar be a tomb. Tower, tower, tower tomb.
So my mysterious bride is no other than this winsome Elsie. By my hand, 'tis no such ill plunge in fortune's lucky bag. I might have fared worse with my eyes open. But she comes, now to test her principles. 'Tis not every husband who has a chance of wooing his own wife. Mistress Elsie,
Oh, Master Leonard.
So thou leavest us tonight.
Yes, Master Leonard. I have been kindly tended, and I almost fear I'm loath to go.
And this Fairfax, wast thou glad when he escaped?
Why, truly, Master Leonard, it is a sad thing that a young and gallant gentleman should die in the very fullness of his life.
Then when thou didst faint in mine arms, it was for joy at his safety.
It may be so. I was highly wrought, Master Leonard, and well, I'm but a girl, and when I'm highly wrought, I faint.
Now, dost thou know, I am consumed with a parlous jealousy.
Thou, and of whom?
Why, of this Fairfax, surely.
Of Colonel Fairfax.
Aye. Shall I be frank with thee? Elsie, I love thee, ardently, passionately. Elsie, I have loved thee these 2 days, which is a long time, and I would fain pray join my life to thine.
Master Leonard, thou art jesting.
Jesting? May I shrivel into raisins if I jest. I love thee with a love that is a fever, with a love that is a frenzy, with a love that eateth up my heart. What sayst thou? Thou wilt not let my heart be eaten up.
Oh, mercy, what am I to say?
Dost thou love me, or hast thou been insensible these 2 days?
I love all brave men.
Nay, there is love in excess. I thank heaven there are many brave men in England, but if thou lovest them all, I withdraw my thanks.
I love the bravest best. Oh, but sir, I may not listen. I am not free. I am a wife.
Thou, a wife? Whose? His name? His days are numbered. Nay, his grave is dug, and his epitaph set up. Come, his name.
Oh, sir, keep my secret. It is the only barrier that fate could set up between us. My husband is none other than Colonel Fairfax.
The greatest villain unhung. The most ill-favored, ill-mannered, ill-natured, ill-omened, ill-tempered dog in Christendom.
It is very like. But he is not to me, for I never saw him. I was blindfolded, and he was to have died within the hour, and he did not die, and I am wedded to him, and my heart is broken.
He was to have died, and he did not die? The scoundrel! The perjured, traitorous villain! Thou shouldst have insisted on his dying first, to be sure. 'Tis the only way with these Fairfaxes.
I now wish I had.
Bloodthirsty little maiden. A fig for this Fairfax. Be mine, he will never know. He dares not show himself. And if he dare, what art thou to him? Come, fly with me, Elsie. We will be married tomorrow, and thou shalt be the happiest wife in England.
Oh, Master Leonard, I am amazed. Is it thus that brave soldiers speak to poor girls? Oh, for shame, for shame! I am wed, not the less because I love not my husband, but I am a wife, sir, and I have a duty. And oh, sir, thy words terrify me. They are not honest, they are wicked words and unworthy thy great and brave heart. Oh, shame upon thee, shame upon thee.
Nay, Elsie, I did but jest. I spake but to try thee. Hark, what was that, sir? Why, an arquebus fired from the wharf, unless I much mistake.
Strange, and at such an hour, what can it mean?
Now what can that have been? A shout so late at night, enough to cause a fight. What can the portent mean? Of so many the land is something to be wrecked. Something to expect, danger is at hand. What danger is at hand?
Who fired that shot? At once the truth declare.
My lord, 'twas I, who rashly judged forbear.
My lord, 'twas he, to rashly judge forbear.
like a ghost his vigil keeping,
or a spectre all appalling.
I beheld a figure creeping.
I should rather call it crawling.
He was creeping.
He was crawling.
He was creeping, creeping.
Crawling.
He was creeping.
He was crawling.
He was creeping, creeping.
Crawling.
Not a moment's hesitation, I myself upon him flung. With a hurried exclamation to his draperies I clung. Then we closed with one another in a rough and tumble smother. Colonel Fairfax and no other was the man to whom I clung.
Colonel Fairfax and no other, Colonel Fairfax and no other, Colonel Fairfax and no other was the man to whom he clung.
After mighty tug and tussle,
it resembled more a struggle.
He by dint of stronger muscle,
oh, by some infernal juggle,
from my grasp quickly sliding.
I should rather call it slipping,
with the view, no doubt, of hiding,
or escaping to the shipping.
With a gasp and with a quiver,
I describe it as a shiver.
Down he dived into the river, and alas, I cannot swim.
Down he dived into the river.
Ingenuity is catching with the view, my king of pleasing, arquebus from century snatching.
I should rather call it seizing.
With an ounce or two of lead, I dispatched him through the head.
With an ounce or two of lead, he dispatched him through the head.
I discharged it without winking, little time I lost in thinking. Like a stone, I saw him sinking.
I should say a lump of lead.
He discharged it without winking, little time he lost in thinking.
Like a stone, I saw him sinking.
I should say a lump of lead.
Like a stone, my boy, I said.
Like a heavy lump of lead.
Like a stone, my boy, I said.
Like a heavy lump of lead.
Anyhow, the man is dead, whether stone or lump of lead.
Anyhow, the man is dead, whether stone or lump of lead. Arquebus from century seizing, with the view is keen of pleasing. Arquebus from century seizing, with the view is keen of pleasing. William shot him with the head, and he's very, very dead. And it matters very little when the stone or lump of lead. It is very, very certain that he's very, very dead.
Stone.
Lead.
A river must be dragged, no time be lost. The body must be found at any cost. To this attend without undue delay. So set to work with what dispatch he may.
Yes, yes, we'll set to work with what dispatch he may.
This Fairfax was but a pestilent fellow, and as he had to die, he might as well die thus as any other way. 'Twas a good death.
Still, he was my husband. And had he not been, he was nevertheless a living man, and now he is dead. And so, by your leave, my tears may flow unchidden, Master Point.
And thou didst see all this?
Aye. With both eyes at once, this and that. The testimony of one eye is not, he may lie. But when it is corroborated by the other, it is good evidence that none may gainsay. Here are both, present in court, ready to swear to him.
But art thou sure it was Colonel Fairfax? Or saw you his face?
Aye. Oh, and a plaguey, ill-favored face, too. A very hangdog face, a felon face, a face to fright the headsman himself and make him strike awry. Oh, a plaguey bad face. Take my word for it. How they laugh. 'Tis ever thus with simple folk. An accepted wit is but to say, pass the mustard, and they roar their ribs out.
If ever I come to life again, thou shalt pay for this, Master Point.
Now, Elsie, thou art free to choose again. So behold me. I'm young and well-favored. I have a pretty wit. I can jest you, jibe you, quip you, crank you, rack you, riddle you.
Tush! Man, thou knowest not how to woo. 'Tis not to be done with time-worn jests and threadbare sophistries, with quips, conundrums, rhymes, and paradoxes. 'Tis an art in itself, and must be studied gravely and conscientiously.
A man who would woo a fair maid should prentice himself to the trade and study all day in methodical way how to flatter, cajole, and persuade. He should prentice himself at 14 and practice from morning to evening.
And when he's of age, if he will and engage, he may capture the heart of a queen, the heart of a queen.
It is purely a matter of skill, which all may attain if they will. But every Jackie must study the knack if he wants to make sure of his Jill, if he wants to make sure
Of his Jill.
If he's made the best use of his time, his twig he'll so carefully lime, that every bird will come down at his word, whatever its plumage shall climb. He must learn that the thrill of a touch may mean little or nothing or much. It's an instrument rare to be handled with care, and ought to be treated as such. Ought to be treated as such.
It is purely a matter of skill, which all may attain if they will. But every Jackie must study the knack if he wants to make sure of his Jill, if he wants to make sure of his Jill. The glance may be timid or free, it will vary in mighty degree, from an impudent stare to a look of despair that no maid without pity can see. And a glance of despair is no crime, it may have its ridiculous side, it may draw you a tear or a box on the ear. You can never be sure to hide, never be sure till you've tried. It is purely a matter of skill, which all may attain if they will. But every Jackie must study the knack if he wants to make sure of his Jill, if he wants to make sure of his Jill.
Must study the knack if he wants to make sure of his Jill.
Yes, every Jack must study the neck if he wants to make sure.
His Jill.
Listen to me. 'Tis done thus.
Mistress Elsie, there is one here who, as thou knowest, loves thee right well.
That he does, right well.
He is but a man of poor estate, but he hath a loving, honest heart. He will be a true and trusty husband to thee, and if thou wilt be his wife, thou shalt lie curled up in his heart, like a little squirrel in its nest.
Ah, 'tis a pretty figure. A maggot in a nut lies closer, but a squirrel will do.
He knows that thou wast a wife, an unloved and unloving wife, and his heart was near to breaking. But now that thine unloving husband is dead and thou art free, he would fain pray that thou wouldst hearken unto him, and give him hope that thou wouldst one day be his.
He presses her hands, and he whispers in her ear. Odds, bodikins, what does it mean?
Now, sweetheart, tell me, wilt thou be this poor good fellow's wife?
If the good brave man, is he a brave man?
So men say.
Oh, that's not true, but let it pass.
If the good brave man will be content with the poor, penniless, untaught maid,
Widow, but let that pass.
that I will be his true and loving wife, and that with my heart of hearts.
My own dear love.
Why, what's all this? Brother! Brother! It's not seemly.
Oh, I can't let that pass. Hold, Master Leonard, enough. An advocate should have his fee, but methinks thou art overpaying thyself.
Nay, that is for Elsie to say. I promised thee I would show thee how to woo, and herein lies the proof of the virtue of my teaching. Go thou and apply it elsewhere.
When a wooer goes a-wooing, naught is truer than his joy.
Maiden hushing all his sewing, boldly blushing, bravely coy, bravely coy. Boldly blushing.
The happy days of doom.
Oh, the happy days of doom. Oh, the sighing and the sewing. When a wooer goes a-wooing, oh, the sweets that never cloy.
When a brother leaves his sister for another, sister weeps. 'Tis that trickle, 'tis that blister, 'tis but a mickle, sister reaps. 'Tis the trickle, 'tis that blister.
Oh, the doing and undoing.
Oh, the doing and undoing. Oh, the sighing and the sewing. When a brother goes a-wooing, and a sobbing sister weeps.
When a jester is outwitted, feelings fester, heart is led. Food for fishes only fitted, jester wishes he was dead. Food for fishes only fitted, jester wishes he was dead.
Doing and undoing, oh, the sighing and the sewing. When a jester goes a-wooing, and he wishes he was dead. Oh, the doing and undoing, oh, the sighing and the sewing. When a jester goes a-wooing, and he wishes he was dead. He wishes he was dead.
And I helped that man to escape. And I've kept his secret and pretended I was his dearly loving sister. And done everything I could think of to make folk believe I was his loving sister. And this is his gratitude. Before I pretend to be sister to anybody again, I'll turn nun and be sister to everybody. One as much as another.
In tears, eh? What a plague art thou grizzling for now?
Why am I grizzling? Thou hast often wept for jealousy. Well, 'tis for jealousy I weep now. I, yellow, bilious, jaundiced jealousy. So make the most of that, Master Wilfrid.
But I have never given thee cause for jealousy. The lieutenant's cookmaid and I are but the merest gossips.
Jealous of thee? Bah! I'm jealous of no craven cock on a hill who crows about what he'd do when he dared. I'm jealous of another and a better man than thou. Set that down, Master Wilfred. And he is to marry Elsie Maynard, the little pale fool. Set that down, Master Wilfred. And my heart is well nigh broken. There, thou hast it all. Make the most of it.
The man thou lovest is to marry Elsie Maynard? Why, that's none other than thy brother, Leonard Merrill.
Oh, mercy, what have I said?
What manner of brother is this? Thou lying little jade! Speak! Who is this man whom thou hast called brother? And fondled, and coddled, and kissed? With my connivance, too? Oh, Lord, with my connivance! Should it be this Fairfax? Oh, it is this Fairfax! It is the accursed Fairfax! It's Fairfax who...
Whom thou hast just shot through the head and who lies at the bottom of the river.
I may have been mistaken. We are but fallible mortals, the best of us. But I'll make sure. I'll make sure.
Stay. One word. I think it cannot be Fairfax. Mind, I say I think, because thou hast just slain Fairfax. But whether he be Fairfax or no Fairfax, he is to marry Elsie. And as thou hast shot him through the head, and he is dead, be content with that. And I will be thy wife.
Is that sure?
Aye, sure enough, for there's no help for it. Thou art a very brute, but even brutes must marry, I suppose.
Oh, my beloved!
Phoebe! Rejoice, for I bring glad tidings. Colonel Fairfax's reprieve was signed 2 days since, but it was foully and maliciously kept back by Secretary Poltwhistle, who designed that it should arrive after the colonel's death. It hath just come to hand, and it is now in the lieutenant's possession.
Oh, then the colonel is free. Oh, kiss me, my dear. Oh, kiss me, again and again.
God's death of my life, art thou mad? Am I mad? Are we all mad?
My dear, I'm well nigh crazed with joy.
Oh, come away from him, thou hussy! Thou jade! Thou kissing, clinging cockatrice! As for thee, sir, devil take thee! I'll rip thee like a herring for this. I'll skin thee for it. I'll cleave thee to the chine. Phoebe! Who is this man?
Peace, fool. He is my brother.
Another brother? Are there any more of them? Produce them all at once and let me know the worst.
This is the real Leonard Dolt. The other was but his substitute. The real Leonard, I say. My father's own son.
How do I know this? Has he brother writ large on his brow? I mistrust thy brothers. Thou art but a false jade.
Now, Wilfred, be just. Truly, I did deceive thee before, but it was to save a precious life, and to save it not for me, but for another. They are to be wed this very day. Is not this enough for thee? Come, I am thy Phoebe, thy very own, and we will be wed in a year, or 2, or 3, at the most. Is not that enough for thee?
Phoebe, hast thou heard the brave news?
Aye, father.
I'm nigh mad with joy. Why, what's all this?
Oh, father, he discovered our secret through my folly, and the price of his silence.
Phoebe's heart.
Oh, dear no. Phoebe's hand.
It's the same thing.
Is it?
Oh, 'tis pity, but the colonel had to be saved at any cost. And as thy folly revealed our secret, thy folly must e'en suffer for it. Dame Carruthers!
So, this is a plot to shield this archfiend, and I have detected it. A word from me, and 3 heads besides his would roll from their shoulders.
Nay, Colonel Fairfax is reprieved. Yet if my complicity in his escape were known, plague on the old meddler. There's nothing for it. Hush, pretty one. Such bloodthirsty words ill become those cherry lips.
Ooh, Sergeant Merrill.
Why, look ye, Chuck. For many a month I've thought to myself, there's snug love saving up in that middle-aged bosom for someone, and why not for thee? That's me. So take heart and tell her, that's thee, that thou, that's me, lovest her, thee, and oh, I'm a miserable old man, and I've done it, and that's me. Oh, but not a word about Fairfax. The price of thy silence is...
Merrill's heart.
Oh, Merrill's hand.
It's the same thing.
Is it?
Rapture, rapture, when love's votary, flushed with capture, seeks the notary. Joy and jollity, then is quality, reigns frivolity. Rapture, rapture, joy and jollity, then is quality, reigns frivolity. Rapture, rapture.
Doleful, doleful, went humanity with its soul full of satanity, courting perfidy down declivity, seeks captivity. Doleful, doleful, courting perfidy down declivity, seeks captivity. Doleful, doleful.
Joyful, joyful, when virginity seeks a coyful man's affinity. Fatal fury, bride and bari, is her dowry. Joyful, joyful, fatal fury, bride and bari, is her dowry. Joyful, joyful.
Ghastly, ghastly, when man sorrowful, firstly, lastly, of tomorrowful, after tarrying, yields to harrying, goes a marrying. Ghastly, ghastly.
Joyful, joyful.
Ghastly, ghastly.
Joyful, joyful.
Ghastly, 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 ghastly. Doleful, doleful, when humanity with its soul full of satanity, courting perfidy down declivity, seeks captivity.
Rapture, rapture,
Courting perfidy down declivity, seeks captivity.
Rapture, rapture.
Doleful, doleful.
Rapture, rapture.
Doleful, doleful,
Rapture,
doleful, courting perfidy down declivity, seeks captivity. Doleful, doleful.
Cheerily pretty and bright.
medal set aside. Thou art mine own, I claim thee as my bride.
Thou art his own, as he claims thee as his bride.
A suppliant, at thy feet I fall. Thine heart will yield to pity's call.
Mine is a heart of massive rock, unmoved by sentimental shock.
Thine husband
Lifelong, oh, it's the song of a merry maiden as